Yo, it's your homeboy Kirosagi in the building. Welcome to episode 127 of One Piece Gist. In this episode, we talk about death in Dressrosa. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the potential deaths in Dressrosa and why they won't happen, and the potential deaths in Dressrosa and why they will happen. So we'll start with the ones that won't happen because most of these, pretty much all of these, the main reason why these characters aren't gonna die is because they're either too liked, then or they have some role in the story moving forward, and for that reason they're not quite disposable. And we'll start with the obvious ones, which are the characters that should die because of injuries they've already taken, and that first on the list would be Law. Um, I just explained why he wouldn't die. And if he doesn't die, I don't think it'll be a bad thing because he's a strong character, so surviving isn't a big deal. We've seen Zoro, survive the bark, and this is also someone who, at the end of the series, might be the new Whitebeard. You know what I'm saying? So again, having durability defeats isn't too nasty for Law. And actually, if you look at it, all he's really taken was he's lost an arm, which he might be able to put back on with his fruit, and that's pretty much it. The rest is just him being tired and losing blood, which those are two things that can be fixed with time. So yeah, it's actually not as bad as it seems. But yeah, he's definitely in a position where he could die if it takes substantial damage, but I don't think he will die for the reasons I've explained earlier. The second character is similar, which is another character who has already sustained a lot of damage, and that is Bellamy. He really shouldn't, we shouldn't see him, but I don't think he's dead because he has a role, and his role is to talk about the Emerald City. Now, that's just an assumption on my part. And what is the Emerald City? Some of you might wonder. If you go back to Jaya, right? Go back to the chapter when he was laughing at Zoro and Luffy in the bar for the first time. He was like, Skypiea or Sky Islands, the Emerald City, and then he just started his whole speech about dreams and laughing at them and mocking them in Mocktown. And this could be foreshadowing to somewhere that the Straw Hats are going to, which is the Emerald City, because we've seen Skypiea ended up being real, not just a myth. So the same thing might happen with Emerald City, and that might be why Oda brought Bellamy back specifically to this arc and just tied everything together so well. Because I have said countless times that the main significance of this whole Colosseum isn't really, for the Mirror. It's because these characters, they've come from all over the world, and they're going to foreshadow and talk about what's happening all over the world at the end of the arc. So Hydra Dean is going to talk about Elbaf, the Bounty Hunter is going to talk about some of the more famous people who escaped Temple Down, and and so on and so forth. And that's basically what Bellamy is going to do, except that he's not going to talk about somewhere he's been to, but somewhere he's heard of, which will be the Emerald City. Hopefully, I mean, otherwise it's going to be kind of he's going to be basically going to be kind of a wasted character, like, oh, why do you bother bringing this trash back? Because I will be honest, I'm not too happy with his fight with Luffy this arc. It didn't make too much sense to me. I didn't really get his reasoning for fighting Luffy, or at least maybe it wasn't translatable or whatever. We'll see what happens in the anime. And speaking of that, I do have to give a shout out to everything One Piece. This Emerald City thing is basically from him, because that whole Emerald City shit went over my head, and it wasn't until recently when I've basically reread all the One Piece chapters because of this channel that I sort of caught on to it. But let's assume I didn't read those chapters, I would have still had this theory, and it would have been thanks to him. So I want to give a shout out to him, everything One Piece. He doesn't really do One Piece videos anymore, but shout out to him nonetheless. And that's another thing I want to talk about is I take pride in coming up with every single theory you see on this channel. It comes straight from me. And if it doesn't, best believe I'll give a shout out to whoever I heard it from. And I don't go on forums. I don't do none of that shit. Every single theory you guys get is straight from me, straight from the top of my head. And I take pride in that, because I've seen quite a few channels that they just go to Oro Jackson or Arlen Park or whatever forum website they go to, and they just copy and paste theories from other people into videos, and they get subs and views and all that kind of shit. But nah, that's just whack to me. I can't do that shit. But anyways, I've talked about Bellamy, talked about Law, and now we're gonna talk about characters that haven't sustained significant damage that might die. And there's pretty much only one character, and that is Koala. You might be like, Koala dying? What? I'll explain. So right now, Sabo has two choices: go to Koala and help her out, or go straight to Luffy. If he goes straight to Luffy, she's gonna be in danger because she's still gonna be in that area where the threat is, and she might be forced to deal with it because she won't have to have any more time to wait for Sabo because she has to deal with whatever that problem is, before it becomes, a real problem, a serious problem that can't be dealt with. And during the course of action, she ends up dying. Now she's not going to die because she. I don't think, even if she doesn't have any important roles moving forward, I just think she's too liked. She has too much of a backstory and all that kind of stuff going for her for order to just dispose of her in that manner. But let's assume this was a seinen. That would definitely be a plot twist or something interesting that Oda could do. Yeah, so that's another interesting dynamic, is the sort of picking, which thing are you gonna go for? Are you gonna go for Luffy? Are you gonna help Koala out? Which would still help Luffy, but the thing is, that might not guarantee Luffy's safety and health, and you've already lost Ace. So what's Sabo gonna do? And I think that's something really interesting. Oda could do. I don't really think he's gonna do it, but it's just something to throw out there as something he could potentially do. And finally, we have the executives, and after that, we're going to talk about Doflamingo. So the executives, Diamante and Treble. Diamante, he's been impaled. If he died, I would not be surprised. If he didn't die, I would not be, surprised, too much. I'd just be really, the only surprise would be, he's done some nasty shit, like some clearly nasty shit. He's killed, some main characters. Well, they're not really main characters, but they're important characters. He's killed the moms, the wives. And he did so, for the fun of it. And after that, he mocked them about the death of, Kiiro's wife, or Rebecca's mom. So that he's a really nasty character. And if he died, I think a lot of people would be happy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he died. Uh, and if he didn't die, just One Piece durability. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised if he didn't die either. Treble, he wouldn't be the first character to survive an explosion. But the thing that, the main problem is, if Treble thought he was going to survive the attack that Law did to him, he wouldn't just blow himself up. So I do think he really thinks he's going to die from that attack, and therefore kill himself, that manner, by blowing himself up. But again, this is One Piece. There might be something we're overlooking. Maybe Doflamingo has a stash of Moncheries tears that he can use to revive Treble or something, and that would not be far fetched because consider this: they had Moncherie trapped all this time. So what do you think they've been doing? While torturing her, they've been collecting her tears, and I do think they have stacks of Moncherie's tears on deck. For first aid. Now have they been sending that out across the New World to the underground? Maybe, I don't know, but I think it's gonna be kind of whack if every bad guy that the Strikes run into have stacks of Moncherie's tears to just bring them back to life. I do think that would be whack. So hopefully that is not the case. Anyways, Treble, if he dies, I wouldn't be surprised. And if he doesn't, what do you call it? I wouldn't be surprised either. Now, why wouldn't I be surprised that characters are just dying like that? Now, here's my thing. I think all the Don Quixotes will die, except maybe Senior Pink, and that's just because fans have grown to like him thanks to his backstory, and that's it, pretty much. Apart from that reason, I can see all the executives dying, and you're like, what? Well, let me explain. I do not think Doflamingo's gonna die. I think we're gonna have a pain, a Naruto pain cycle of hatred thing repeat itself in One Piece, and this time it's gonna be Law and Doflamingo. And Law isn't going to kill Doflamingo. He's going to stick to the plan that he set out, which is that he's going to just destroy the factory and let Kaido deal with Doflamingo rather than incurring Kaido's wrath himself. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more dramatic than that because Law is going to have all the emotions running through him, and he's going to probably need Luffy to calm him down or whatever. And they're going to have some speech and some back and forth. And even if he manages to convert Doflamingo to the good side, Doflamingo still has a lot of stuff that I think he needs to pay for. And I think his crew getting wiped out by Kaido is the perfect way for it to happen, because we do know he loves his family. Law used Jorah, which is she's neither one of the strongest, nor she's kind of trash. She has a nice fruit, but she's kind of trash nonetheless. And Law was able to use her of all people to as a hostage against Doflamingo, and he couldn't do anything. So that just tells you something. And if he likes Jorah that much, how much does he like his entire crew? You know what I'm saying? So Doflamingo isn't gonna play no games. When it comes to his crew, which will get wiped out by Kiiro because that's what Kiiro does, as foreshadowed through the bark. And I do think Doflamingo will survive. You know, Kiiro being on his tail, but I don't think his crew is good enough to do so. And that would be sort of some karma for all the stuff his crew has done together with him. And we must remember that, you know, as showcased in the last chapter, his crew, you know, they, particularly the top executives, they groomed him to be what he is. And let's consider this: if his whole crew is dying, then that would mean that Monet and Virgo did in fact did actually die in Punk Hazard, which wouldn't be a big surprise. That would mean that Diamante actually died that one chapter where it seemed like he died when he got impaled. Again, it's all building up. Treble dying, you know, all these cats dying. Why all these cats dying in Dressrosa? Because his whole crew is gonna get wiped out by Kaido, you know, regardless. So if a few characters die early, it's not gonna make a difference, and it just makes so much sense. So that's pretty much the video actually. I don't think anyone apart from the Donquixotes are gonna die, and they most likely won't die in Dressrosa, except for the characters that have already died. But they're all Donquixotes, so it doesn't really make a difference. Anyways, I don't think Doflamingo will die. He's too good of a character, too strong of a character, too nice of a character, and too liked of a character. I think he will come back as an ally to the Straw Hats as usual, but you know, without a crew, and he's basically gonna be like Bellamy, which is gonna be another interesting thing. You know, it's Order likes doing this type of shit. Well, not necessarily likes doing it, but we've seen him do it with Bellamy. He can do it with Doflamingo. You know, Bellamy came back a changed man, and I think the next time we see Doflamingo after this arc, he'll be a changed man as well. So it's all good, and I do think it's gonna happen, and I think it's cool. But anyways, that's the video. Don't want it to be too long. You know how I roll. Once again, shout outs to everything One Piece for that beast theory about the Emerald City. I would have come up with it eventually, and that's only because I reread the manga. But if I didn't reread it, you know, nonetheless, I have to give him a shout out. So shout out to everything One Piece. If you want to link to this channel, let me know, and I'll hit you up in the comment section. Thank you for chilling all the way to the end. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, thank you guys for watching.